Hi friends! Welcome to Picture Book Showdown, the video where we put two picture books head to head and find out which one is the champion. I'm Charlotte, a mom and picture book author and illustrator. Today I have two picture books about seeds growing into flowers. A newly published one called A Seed Grows by Antoinette Portis, and an old classic from 1987, The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. We will determine the champion through the following categories: cover, story, characters, illustrations, word choice, emotion, and the kid meter. Each book will receive up to 100 points. The book with the highest score wins! Before we get started, the first category is cover, and I just want to show you these two covers side by side. They are very, very similar. They both have a flower right in the middle. They have some leaves to show the leaves of the plant and the title right in the middle. And I want to show you something else. Here's the back cover. They're both the sunshines from the story as well. So, obviously, these covers are very, very similar. I've given them both a 7 out of 10 for the cover. The reason I'm putting these two head to head is because they really show the difference between picture books from 30 plus years ago and picture books today, and why it's important to read classics as well as modern picture books, because the style is different, but they both have a lot of value in a child's life. So, this is Eric Carle's book, The Tiny Seed. I want you to see, as I flip through here, the amount of words on each page. Both the stories go through the stages of a flower growing, but his story is a lot longer and a lot more words than A Seed Grows. And it has a lot more storyline. Like, for example, okay, this page here, the text is half of one of these pages. And pretty much this page is the entire other book. Because it talks about how the seed grows, but this story has a lot more to it than just the stages of the flower growing. Now, this book, I want to show you how much words are on each page in this book. There you go. 3 words on that page. 1, 2, 3, 5 words on this page. And so on. This book has only a teeny tiny amount of words on each page. This only has 2 words on it. So, they both cover the life cycle of a flower. Now, I want to just talk about the difference between how these two tell the story. We have this one, which reads more like a nonfiction. I don't think this is categorized as nonfiction. It does have some back matter at the end, though, that shows the whole life cycle of... Just a second. This one does have back matter. It shows the whole life cycle of the flower and has more words on the very end, like a nonfiction book. I think it's still categorized in the fiction section, but it might be a nonfiction. Anyway, so it is just telling the facts, and it doesn't really have a story except for there's some little birds at the end here. But even that is not much of a story. It's basically, I want to tell the kids how a flower grows, and this one tells the story of how a flower grows. This story, as we've already seen, has some of the pages that are very similar. The cover is pretty much exactly the same. It goes through, here's the seeds in the sunshine and the seeds in the rain. But this story with the flowers actually tells a real story. And I think that's important for kids, because if you hear a story and you actually become invested in the story, there's conflict, there's drama, there's excitement, that story, the facts in that story are actually going to stay with you better than just having the seed grows, the rain falls. Not to say that this does not have value. I think it has a lot of value, but I also think classic books that have more words and that have more drama will actually keep the story in the kids longer and help them remember it better than just a plain, straightforward, fact-based story. Now these can work together really well because this one shows more of the seed sprouting and the different growth stages than this one does. This one is more about the story than about the actual scientific facts of the seed growing. So if you read them together, I think the kids will understand how flowers grow even better and remember it better. So let's get down to the scores. Let's start with A Seed Grows. So the story of this is just the life cycle of the flower, as I said. So I gave this one a 6 out of 10 for story. Characters, this one got a 0 out of 10 for characters. Unfortunately, the seed is not really a character in this story. I couldn't picture it as a character in the way that this is written. The illustrations are beautiful. They're made with printmaking techniques. On the back it says they use like potato stamps and other printmaking techniques. So it looks very natural. It looks like something fun that the kids could make themselves. This one here where the seeds are falling and the birds are eating them is my absolute favorite illustration in here. It has more life than the other illustrations, having the animals as a part of the story. And I really like the layout and design of the 3 different birds there, with the leaves going up the one side and the head of the flower drooping down on the other side. I think that's very beautiful and a very nice layout. And I like seeing all the seeds on the ground. So overall, the illustrations of this are very graphic and very colorful, very beautiful. They got a 15 out of 20. Word choice. Now, we've already seen that this book does not have as many words. And so, it could not have very many of the special kinds of words that make it more lyrical or like alliteration, onomatopoeia, anything that really brings words to life. With the very limited words in this book, it just couldn't zing as much as if it had a few more words. It has 11 out of 20 for the word choice. Now, emotion, there is some story arc with the seed and how it grows, and then suddenly these birds appear, which add a little bit of drama to the story. It's still something that kids would be interested in and still something that they would like to learn about. So I gave it a 12 out of 20 for emotion. And on our kid meter, I read both of these books to my son and asked him to pick his favorite. He did not pick a favorite. He said he loved both of them. And so they both have an 8 out of 10 for the kid meter. Next up, talk about The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. The story of this one is a very good story. It reminds me of the story of the seeds that Jesus told over 2,000 years ago, where some seeds fall where they can grow and some seeds fall where they can't grow. We see lots of drama, lots of tension. The story that we're following is the one of the tiniest seed. Now, do you think the little kids have fun finding the tiniest seed on every page? Yes. Do you think maybe the children feel like they are the tiniest seed sometimes? Yes. And this story shows what happens when you keep trying, when you keep going, when you don't give up. And a lot of the other seeds don't make it to the end. And yet, the one seed that was the tiniest seed of all becomes a flower. A flower so big that it's seen throughout the whole world, that everybody comes to see because it has grown bigger than you could possibly imagine. So this story doesn't just tell you about how a seed grows. This story also gives you life lessons. It teaches kids perseverance, and that something small can grow to something very big and something very special, which is something that we want them to know, that every child could grow into something very big and very special, something that can brighten the whole world. The story got a 9 out of 10. Characters. The little seed is our character, and he's relatable in that he's the smallest, and in the end, he grows and becomes the biggest flower. And got an 8 out of 10 for characters. Illustrations. Obviously, Eric Carle is a very famous artist of children's picture books. These illustrations are all eye-catching, beautiful, and you can see the tiny seed. You can always find him no matter what. 17 out of 20 for illustrations. Word choice. There are a lot more words in this book. Actually, in some of the pages, I think there are too many words. He does have some beautiful parts where he uses some imagery. Here, I'll read a little bit. Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they are going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. So that one had metaphors, some imagery, and also you can see the personification of the little seed. The word choice, I gave 12 out of 20 for word choice. Emotion, we've already talked about, that there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of tension, and there's also the joy and rejoicing at the end where the seed has grown. I gave it an 18 out of 20 for emotions. And then the kid meter. My children love both of these books, and this one got an 8 out of 10 on the kid meter as well. Okay, we have seen all the scores now. Let's add them up and find out who is the champion. The score for A Seed Grows was 59 out of 100. And the score for The Tiny Seed was 79 out of 100. Now, congratulations, The Tiny Seed. You are our picture book champion. Which one did you like the best? Can you comment below and tell me who you thought should be the champion? And tell me any other great stories about seeds growing into flowers. Thank you. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Comment below which one you liked best. And be sure to like and subscribe. Bye.